The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux. Episode 6, Blood Money, written by Royce Pentaghast. Hello, name's Alfie Kane, you can call me Spider. Now, in this city of Varadoon, I know everyone worth knowing and everyone not worth knowing. Putting it simply, I know everyone in this stinking city. I'm like a spider in the middle of a massive web of connections. That's where the name comes from, see? Now, this story starts a few weeks ago and it revolves around some elf bird called Agnetha Deveaux. Now, she came here about 3 years ago, couldn't get any real information on her, but for the first 2 years or so, she kept a pretty low profile. That is, till last year, she decided she's going to become some freelance detective and monster slayer, and as the months go on, she begins to make a bit of a name for herself. She's got her adverts in the newspapers and they start writing articles about her, and then she got posters all over town with a drawing of her face and her list of services pasted all on it. And it were a few weeks ago that some travelling mercenary by the name of L just happened to see her mug on one of these posters. And it turns out he recognised her.
Oh my god.
So he takes the poster and sends it to his boss in West Rayleigh.
Osley, we found her.
Agnetha Deveaux. Interesting.
And it was then that Miss Deveaux's past finally started to catch up with her.
A few years ago, a woman by the name of Annafried Denton, this Agnetha Deveaux, entered my employ. I did all the necessary background checks myself and found everything to be in order. She was a loyal servant, earned her keep and then some, and wasn't a very big spender of it. Very wise of her, not drawing attention to herself like some in this business do. Buying fancy houses and possum coats the week they rob a bank. Her actions helped me acquire this part of the countryside. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until one day she was gone. Vanished without a trace, and with it, £100,000 of my money.
So she stole from you?
That is the reasonable assumption. A minor annoyance, really. It's not easy to make that kind of money, but I made it all back within a few weeks. Just had to bleed a few companies dry prematurely, destroy an entire town financially.
What?
But I got it all back in the end. However, I don't like it when someone thinks they can pull my tricks on me. Where is this Miss Deveaux now?
Based off this letter, she's in Varadoon, Arrington, living out of some rundown pub.
Strange. She could have fled to the Far East with that kind of money, yet she practically moves next door. What's she doing there?
Not a lot. She kept a low profile. Newspapers suggest she spent a lot of her time lounging around doing nothing. But in the last year, she's taken to amateur sleuthing. She's still small time. What do you want to do about it?
Find her, eradicate her, and get that money back. Travel to Harrington and assemble a team if need be.
You're gonna kill her?
That's always been your problem, Ewan. Always thinking small. Killing isn't enough. I'm going to eradicate her. It's different. Leave as soon as you can. Deal with this as swiftly as possible.
But why? I mean, the practicality of it. I know you just said she stole from you, but you got your money back, and she doesn't seem to be a threat.
She may not be a threat, but it's the principle of the matter. One woman got into my inner circle, stole from me, and got away with it. What kind of message does it send to those people who pose legitimate threats to my business? It sends the message to them that they can try the same thing for themselves. That if I was hoodwinked once, it can happen again. We find this Agnetha Deveaux when we show those people just what happens to those who think they can do that. Am I making myself clear?
And so, this Osterley's word was sent out, and over the next week, the hordes of mercenaries, bounty hunters, assassins, and chancers descended upon Varadoon, ready to hunt down this Agnetha, meeting with Osterley's fixer in a pub by the docks. I tagged along, wanting in on the action. With a reward for capturing Agnetha equal or more to what she'd stolen from Osterley herself, everyone was looking to prove themselves.
Now we're all here, and we're going to work as a team to get this Agnetha. We'd had best start by introducing ourselves. You will know me as the Fixer, nothing more, nothing less. You will trust me, and you will follow my orders to the letter. Is this understood?
Yes.
You go.
Name's Ronald Rudnick. You can just call me Ron. I'm a hunter, a tracker. Spend most of my time lying in wait for my prey, but I always get them. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here for the money. But I'll stick with his outfit for the meantime.
I am Katya Ilanova. In case you couldn't tell from the muscles or the green skin, I am what you would call an orc. I worked way across the northeast countries, from Sorbald to Old Heltomia.
I'm Zorini. I'm from Josephinia. I thought I'd take part just to pass the time, stretch my muscles. This Agnetha will be a simple exercise.
I'm Will. I'm here because action and glory and all those very lovely buzzwords you lot are throwing around here to make yourselves seem all very grand and dangerous and lovely. Yes, the lovely assassins, that is us.
I'm Alfie Kane, but you all knew that.
I'm Hua Jin, Swordmaster of the Nirad realm. I've fought many battles in the Courtman War. I single-handedly killed 35 men and 4 dragons. I shall add Agnetha's name to my list.
Welcome aboard, Huajin, to the lovely Assassins Guild. I'm just wondering why you've drawn a fake mustache on your lip.
Do not be absurd. This is a real mustache.
Yeah, it looks like your mustache is painted on.
You are wrong. I am most certainly a man and... Okay, it is fake. I am a woman. What gave it away?
It was the painted mustache.
I'm sorry. I just didn't know if women would be allowed, you know? Back home, fighting the war is so typically for the men. I did not know if it would be the same here. But I really did kill a lot of people. Not 35. And it was a younger dragon.
You are welcome here. All get a chance to take part in this.
Well, I put a lot of effort into this. Can I just stay dressed as a man?
If you think it'll help and are comfortable, sure.
Oh, I actually have a dress in my suitcase. It's brilliant. I made it myself. It has knives and razors in the hem, so I can do a flying jump and spin and attack and cut my opponents to ribbons like a fabulous Jackie Chan.
Okay, wear the dress. Wear what you want. It's fine. Now, we know where Deveaux lives. A pub on Juniper Street called the Vestment Silver. But we don't know too much about her. So we're going to go talk to a guy who knows everyone worth knowing in this city for more information on her. There's a guy named Tom, a few streets from here. He'll help us form an attack and hook us up with a weapons dealer. Since I'm guessing a lot of you who travelled from other countries couldn't smuggle your own weapons in without being caught. I'll go first, you all follow. Single file. Stay apart. Keep a low profile and follow my lead.
Welcome to my general goods store. Name's Tom. How can I help you?
I'm looking for earmuffs and a sexton.
Who do you need to know, and why?
An elf named Agnetha Deveaux. Dark skin, facial tattoos, roughly 6 feet tall. Do you know her?
Well enough. She moved here about 3 years ago from the west. Lives in the Vestment Silver Tavern and keeps a low profile. In the last year, she's taken up freelance investigation work.
We know all that. Do you have anything else on her?
Not much. Her history is well protected. I don't think anyone knows. You don't need to bribe me. That's all anyone knows. Besides, the past is in the past. What matters is the present and the future. So I can prepare you for that. She has magical knowledge. I know for a fact she can throw balls of fire up to 100 feet and talk to the dead. She's got military training. Plus she's relatively well versed in hand-to-hand combat and fights dirty. Light her on her feet? She's probably crazy too. I've known her to be erratic and unpredictable.
Sounds like my kind of gal.
I'm guessing you lot want to try and take her on. If you're after her services, I'd tell you she's smart as a whip and works quickly too. Solves murders, missing person cases, cats stuck up trees, and will fumigate your house for a reasonable price. But since you're not, I'll just say this. Don't underestimate her.
We know she's based on Juniper Street. Do you know if she has any other bolt holes around the city?
Again, I don't know. She keeps herself low profile. Unlike you, I knew half of you arrived in the city within 10 minutes of you doing so. I'd ask how the drinks were at the pub, but I know none of you had a drink except for a Zarini over there. I wouldn't advise taking her on, but if you insist, be careful. She beat a cattle troll using a sword and a stick without much preparation.
Oh, please. How would you achieve such a thing?
Excuse me! Have you not been listening to what I've been saying?
No, I zoned out. I can't stand drivel. How do you expect any of us to believe some average woman could defeat a 2-ton troll?
Listen, boy. First, a troll weighs barely a ton. And secondly, Agnetha Deveaux is not some average woman or maiden to be trifled with. I'd stop short of calling her a psychopath if her compassion didn't outweigh the violent acts she...
Compassion. One of the women's diseases.
What are you saying?
I'm sorry, ladies, but you've fallen under the same delusion that this Agnetha and Tom have too. It's not your fault that women are physically and mentally inferior to men. Tom's scare tactics are no better than the words of a snake oil salesman, when the answer is to simply march over to that tavern she lives at and put an end to this. In fact, Tom's stories are nothing but gossip, meant to scare inferior men into female-like hysteria and continue to perpetuate this false narrative.
I could crush your head in my hands, little man.
How much ice do you have in that glass?
What?
That's like a 90% to 10% ice to whiskey ratio you have there. And despite sipping it every time you think you've dropped some hot take or zinger, the level hasn't gone down.
I'm savoring the taste.
Of what? Water?
Tom, I'm sorry for this disrespect from Zerini.
Tell me, you march over to the vestment now, how are you going to deal with Agnetha?
I will walk in there under the guise of a client of hers, step away into a consultation room, and as her back is turned, I withdraw this knife from my sleeve and finish it right there.
That has got to be the stupidest thing I've heard this month.
Fine then, I shall prove to you all and put this Agnetha in her place.
Is there anything else you need help with?
Weapons. You know a guy?
There's a guy named Alex the Seal at Lot 3, 44 Turner Lane. Take this card, give it to him when you meet him.
Hey, I know Alex. I'll take you guys there now.
Thanks for the info, Tom, and sorry again about Zerini.
It's his funeral, and it will be yours if you're not careful. Don't mess with Agnetha Deveaux if you value your life.
Well, I hope you have fun on this trip.
We're mostly there for business, but we'll try getting some time to ourselves.
Yeah, it's only a 4-day trip, so we'll probably be rushed off our feet. We should get going now. Don't want to delay.
Are you on a private ship or going some other way? Taking a ferry. Managed to get first class. Ah, nice. Anyway, you'd best be off.
Take care.
Thanks, love. We'll come by when we're back.
Try to stay out of trouble.
You too, and by trouble I mean Elsie.
Agnetha, please. Anyway, see you both in a few days.
See you.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Excuse me, Agnetha.
Rusty boy, what can I do for you?
Would you be able to help me out with some sword practice a bit later?
Sure, I'll be free in about 10.
Oh, I meant later this afternoon, around 4.
4 is doable. We're just doing it in the backyard.
Yes, there's a lot of room out there to fight.
Bounce around, yeah. All the jabs and parries.
You better not hit any of my washing.
4 is good. I'll meet you out there then, unless some great tragedy should befall me.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Vestment Silver. How can I help?
Hello, I was wondering if I could talk to Agnetha Deveaux. I'm having a bit of trouble, and I think she might help.
That I can do. Charlotte, shall I use a tea room? Right this way. Now, what can I do for you?
I have a bit of a problem.
What kind of problem?
A problem with my dog. He's gone to the countryside and is,
Is it a sentient canine?
Actually, I think that painting on the wall behind you is where he went.
What painting? Oh, I think that's some village north of the city. I don't think it looks like that. What do you think you're doing?
This is Alex's place.
Why is he called Alex the Seal anyway?
Because I'm a slippery bugger, that's why. Gentlemen, ladies, what do you need?
We were sent here by Tom. He said to give you this card.
Well, you guys are legit, that's for sure. As I said, what do you need?
We're after weapons. Ron wants a crossbow.
Heavy duty!
Heavy duty, I can do that. And the rest?
Short one-handlers all around. Something concealable.
I have 2 axes. I do not need a sword.
I'll have a rapier.
Just a rapier? You don't want to specify anything more? Boy, you give me a lot to work with here.
How's your friendship with that city guard going? Does your boss Den know about that little arrangement?
I'll give you all a 50% discount if you get out of my shop in the next 60 seconds. And Kane, if you breathe a word of that to anyone, your mother, your priest, your reflection when you practice your cute little speeches in the mirror, I'll end your life. You got that?
Our lips are sealed.
Varadune. I do like this city. It's grown on me these last few years. From up in this bell tower, you can pretty much see every part of the city, apart from the bell tower itself. You see, one of the things I love about Varadune is the architecture here. Plus, the weather's pretty mild. But the people make a place, I find. And the people here in Varadune seem pretty nice. I can tell you're not a local. You are far too impolite. Coming into my house and trying to stab me in the back. Yeah, I checked your wallet, Adam Zerini. Pocketed the golden notes in there too. That should be more than enough to cover my services.
Get me down! Get me down from here!
This belfry is about 120 feet tall. It's open to the public. But you got to climb over a few gates to get right up in the bell, where we are now.
Let me down!
Why did you try to stab me? Who sent you? Why did they send you? Answer me and I'll let you go.
It was a guy called Osterley, A.G. Osterley. He put a hit on you last week for stealing money from you years ago. A bunch of assassins from all over arrived here this morning. They're going to kill you and get the money back.
So he's finally found me. How many assassins?
6 assassins.
Anything else? Where are they?
I don't know. Oh my god, they're at some guy's place by the docks. Tom, that's all I know. Let me go.
Gladly.
None of us knew it yet, but Zarini had royally screwed us up. Anyway, after we left Alex the Seal, he went off to meet his boss, Dennis Porter. Now, Den is an old-time gangster. He'd practically been running the streets of Varadun for over 50 years. Den had clubs and pubs, shady export deals, but the last few decades had taken their toll on him. Having to withdraw most of his operations, he was old, wheelchair-bound, and always accompanied by his massive bodyguard, VD.
I'm here to see Dan.
Porter, it's Alex.
Enter.
Alex the Seal, what are you doing here?
I got some news for you.
Alright, spit it out then.
Look, if you're in a bad mood, it can wait.
Spit it out, you mug!
Look, I got a visit down the garage a few hours ago from a group of out-of-towners. They bought a couple of weapons, swords, crossbows, that kind of stuff. I looked into them a little more, and it seems they come here to do business.
Seems our suspicions are confirmed, Porter. As Ham and I were only telling you a few minutes ago, the word on the street was that there were some...
Newcomers? On my turf? Who do these upstarts think they are?
Just some low-life bounty hunters looking for some elf chick. 5 of them or so. Someone's pulling the strings, but I don't know who.
We heard from Tom that they were after that Agnetha Deveaux. International criminals.
It's Agnetha Deveaux. Maybe you could do a reading a paper every now and then. This lady is smart. Seems she's wiped out one of these bounty hunters already. She knows someone is onto her.
Here, who do these bleeding mugs think they are coming into my bleeding city? They don't know who the hell I am. I've had this city for 50 bloody years, and these mugs think they can stroll in here and tread in all over my garden like they own the bloody place? Get out there and teach them a lesson, and this Agnetha too. Con, Ham, Lex, make 'em rue the day they think they could come here and set up shop on my bleeding street.
Shouldn't be too hard to find this bird, surely. Any idea where we might find her? I'd never even heard of her before now.
Fellas, if you look at the advert here, page 50, the Vestment Silver Tavern, 45 Juniper Street.
Well, if she's half as smart as Alex says, she won't be at that address now. It's worth checking out. Perhaps she thinks she's really smart hiding where we'd least expect her. Her own address. You seriously think she's going to be foolish enough to stay home with half the city looking for her?
Wherever she is, he'll be ashamed to kill her. If this drawing is anywhere near accurate, she's pretty cute.
She's an elf.
And an attractive one at that. So what if she is? You saying you only stick with your own kind? How many chrome-domed women do you pull down the pub?
Are you saying I'm bald?
Well, considering you only got 3 hairs on that head of yours, I'd say yeah, I am baldy.
Gentlemen, please, can we get to work?
Welcome to the general store. I'm Tom. Miss Deveaux, how can I help you this afternoon?
Tom, perhaps you could help me understand why you were helping a bunch of criminals try and find me this morning.
Look, I like you. You're a good customer, you always pay, and you've been giving me steady business these last few months, as you've been solving crimes and all that. I hold no loyalties to anyone. It's how I've kept myself alive so long, but when some customer comes through that door wanting info on how to take out one of my most loyal customers, I don't refuse them information. If anything, I just give them unhelpful information. 5 foreigners and some know-it-all who fancies himself as my successor came in here this morning, wanting to know about you, and I more or less told them it'd be best if they didn't go near you.
Do you know who their employer is?
I haven't a clue.
It's Peacock. He's finally caught up with me.
How do you find that out?
One of the it men, Zarini, confessed before he fell off the bell tower. He said his employer was A.G. Osterley, an alias for Andrew Peacock.
I've been looking for Peacock for over a year. Found nothing.
I've been properly looking since Harry Dorian visited me last year and gave me a warning. Seems Peacock was on his tail too. It's like this guy doesn't exist, but I found a trail, a faint one, connected to all kinds of names, different bank accounts, different businesses, with Osterley being the most recent.
Where do you have this information?
I have it locked away in my room in the vestment, but I need to get it. And I can't stay there with him and these assassins about. I need somewhere to stay. Do you know anyone?
Yeah, I might do. There's this guy called Felix. He's an expat from your neck of the woods. Take this card. Go to that address first, show it to him, and he should take you somewhere safe. He'll let me out to duck back into your room to grab anything you need.
Thanks, Tom.
Stay safe.
Now, we all thought we were pretty good, but the fact was, it seemed Agnetha was better. Word of Zarini's failure had reached our group just as we were putting our plan into motion, and I'll admit, our morale took a pretty big hit from it, although none of us really liked Zarini. The Fixer was faced with the difficult task of informing Osterley by letter. The operation was already falling apart, as Agnetha knew we were after her.
Well, there goes our element of surprise.
I don't know. I might have something in mind.
Hello? No, I didn't order any food delivery, but I'll gladly accept whatever you're offering.
Are you Felix? Tom sent me. Gave me this.
Oh, right, one of those. Hey, I am Felix.
Agnetha.
Ah, the knife ear in the center of all the trouble. You wait here on the porch like a good little servant would, and I'll grab my coat and take you down the safe house.
Okay.
There we go, coat rack right next to the door. Anyway, come along. Keep covert, we don't want to be seen skipping down the road like an airy fairy, do we?
Skipping could work. If anyone were looking for you, they'd be looking for people taking the back streets and laneways, trying not to draw attention to themselves.
I was joking. Come on, take a joke. So serious. Why are you so serious?
I don't know. Maybe I've had a bit of a bad day.
I'll say. Bunch of assassins trying to kill you. You need one of my safe houses.
Where are you taking me?
I have a few secret hidey holes around the city, from big and bold to nondescript. Usually I pick them up randomly to assign them, but this one we're heading to now is special. Yeah, so very special, just up the canal. It's hidden as an office in a warehouse, but it's actually a fully furnished flat with heavy security doors and windows.
Sounds alright. Didn't expect the armour in.
Oh yeah, has a lot of security features, even a secret passageway out.
Whoa, this place sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I'm not looking for anywhere fancy. Just a place to lay low. Tom trusts you, so you better be good.
Not much longer. Yeah, see there? The big doors?
Yep.
It's just through there, see? Almost there. Through you go.
After you.
Ladies first.
Exactly. After you. It's a bit dark. Hang on.
Come on, this way.
Well, what have we here?
An offering for you, my friends.
Who let the filthy elf in here?
Oh no, don't you like her? Whoopsie! I suppose you'll just have to throw her out.
That'll do it for the humans.
Oh, Felix, you bumbag!
Sorry, Miss Deveaux. Word of that hit spread around very quick. I didn't think I'd have a chance to claim it, but here we are. And I don't even have to get my own hands dirty.
Attack! Varadune for the humans.
Sounds like a hell of a party in there. I'll have to thank Tom. Perhaps give him 5% of the...
Run away! Oh, she's standing in the back wall, just killing me. Get her before she escapes.
Well, that must be my cue to go.
Felix?
Oh, hi, Agnetha. I'm so sorry about all that. Had a bit of a funny turn, you know how it is. Sorry, honestly, sorry. It was just a prank, bro.
Have you heard the story of King Royce? Basically, he aspired for lands beyond his own, marched north into Josephinia, slayed the court and threw King Samuel I in jail. While he made promises to the people to better their way of life using Josephinia's resources, he instead threw himself a massive party. For 2 years these celebrations went on until one day a careless guard left Samuel's cell unlocked. He walked out, found Royce sitting in a hot tub and stabbed him through the heart.
I've heard the story in history class. I just don't understand what that pertains to.
3 years ago, Agnetha Deveaux stole from me and decided that rather than fleeing to the far edges of the world, she'd practically settle on my doorstep. Flaunt herself. with her face plastered on posters and plastered onto lampposts and walls for everyone to see. It's this kind of carelessness that led to Royce the Great's downfall. And I'm about to walk in on her in the bath.
Royce the Great? He was a tyrant and a fascist. Why would you call him a great...
Utterly, a letter from Harrington, and yet it's on to us. Some of the assassins are already dead. The element of surprise is gone.
This just proves that people cannot be trusted, even your closest allies. That's something you should keep in mind, Ewan. Pack your bags, Al. We're leaving for Harrington to oversee this operation.
You're going just like that?
Thank you for your hospitality these last few months. Your riches and facilities have been most enjoyable. Anyway, the bailiffs will be by in the morning to repossess the house and your belongings to cover those debts of yours from our stay here. And this letter arrived from your wife's solicitor a few days ago, wanting a divorce.
What do you mean, bailiffs? What have you done to me?
Let this be a lesson to you. Do not squander your riches. Remember, you can't take them with you. Now, what's the quickest form of travel to Harrington?
An express train arrives at the station in 2 hours. Should be in Varadoon by 7.
The plan had fallen apart, but a new one was being formed. A.G. Otterley himself was descending on Varadoon, and Agnetha had seemingly nowhere to run. Where could it go from here? I suppose you'll have to tune in next time. Cheerio. The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux, starring Liz Corrin as Agnetha, Matt Harris as Spider, Ewan and Felix, Joshua Law as The Fixer and VD, Royce Pentaghast as Osterley, Lex, Alex and Termel, Stuart Fulton as Ron and Tom, Ollie Gregg as Katya and Elsie, Keith Wiggins as Dennis, Aaron Beck as Ham, Tom, Jacqueline Morrison as Hua Jin, Jake T. Hodgetts as William, Benjamin Rossiter as Russ, Marie Butler Cole as Charlotte, Jamie Van Dyke as Zarini and Elle. Theme music copyright of Matt Harris, lovely chap. Produced by City Park Radio, Bent Eared Records and Rabbit Dog Productions, 2018.